Wow, it is getting dark in here, and we're not even tired yet. Hello everyone, and welcome back, once again, to Project Zomboid. Surprisingly, we actually managed to survive our first few days in the Really CDDA challenge, although apparently it's supposed to be read as a really seedy day. I just disinfected this wound with some bourbon that we found in the bar below. But I'm actually overjoyed right now because what we found in the last part, and actually that I rediscovered in editing, is that sewing kit that I was looking for is actually in the glove box of a truck that's in the parking lot. So we're definitely going to want to go after that. I don't want to risk going out with a flashlight and tracking a bunch of things here. But in the morning, that'll be our goal. Just one more day with this deep wound. And after that, we're going to head across the parking lot even further to try and find some supplies in the neighboring warehouses. Ah, we can even use the bourbon to make a sterilized rag. That's useful. Okay, let's remove this bandage. Hopefully it's not infected. I think a sterilized rag will actually help it to heal faster once it's stitched up. But right now I'm just kind of waiting for a little bit more daylight so we can head out. Oh, we are very hungry. Is there anything we can eat before we go? Unfortunately, this place is pretty light on eatables. And have a look at what's around. Luckily, it doesn't really seem like anything's moved back into the area. But we're going to want to be as stealthy as possible. Two in the parking lot that I can see. But it doesn't seem like there's really all that much around the warehouse, which is going to be very useful. But one thing at a time. Don't try to overextend and ruin it for ourselves. I know it's pretty dark, but I don't want to risk using the flashlight. See, I feel like in a more difficult scenario like this, you're forced to contend with the game's mechanics more. I don't usually have to deal with things like, well, hunger or thirst. Oh, there's a whole bunch of them, actually. And more importantly, I don't have to worry about things like attracting things with the beam from a flashlight, because usually I can just handle it. Now, what have you got for me, Truck of Dreams? There is the sewing kit. It's got a needle but no thread. I wonder if we can use twine. But I suppose no time like the present to start drawing you over. Just make sure there's nothing behind us. We have the ability to fight right now. And if not, we'll just do a tactical retreat having killed a few of them. Leave this a little easier than when we found it. A whole bunch of them piled up on the door. Oh, wow, that's actually a lot. There's more across the street, more in the parking lot. Yeah, so they're not in this lot, they're just, well, everywhere else. But we are able to get some thread from ripping up clothes. Okay, I had not been aware of that. I don't know how much we need, but we can add them to each other and condense them. Alright, so that's the plan. We just keep ripping up their stuff. Alright, now that there's a little bit more light, I have no idea if light levels actually affect this, but it makes sense that it would. Let's open up this sewing kit and perhaps, hopefully, get this stitched up. So we're going to remove that bandage. Rag's still sterile, so that's good. And this is gonna suck. I've never done this in game before. Stitch it up. You are a trooper, not actually even registering any more pain. But it's finally done. Oh, there's a little bit more. Some food would help us out immensely. Not only to cure our hunger, but also because eating, well, you know, it helps with healing. I really doubt we're going to be able to find any food in these warehouses, but you know what? Getting in there is how we progress at this point. Even if it's not directly in something we can eat, it'll at least be in something we can use to get food. You know, I'm starting to think maybe killing them isn't even the move. Maybe it would be a much better idea just to lure them, get their attention on purpose, and sort of bring them all into the woods. Sure, take a problem and move it somewhere else. How could that ever backfire? I mean, you know, unless I ever want to go back to the farmhouse. Which at this point would kind of be like moving back in with Mom and Dad after our tech startup failed. Oh, listen to the sound of the leaves and branches rustling in the breeze. We can even see little animations on the trees themselves and the grass. Oh, this game is so gorgeous in its atmospherics. It makes even the downtime so cool, and don't get me wrong, it does influence the gameplay as well. Remember, it's times like these that you just constantly look around trying to figure out what's making the noise. And knowing that your visibility is limited and ignoring it could mean death. But we're going to kill you guys just for funsies, because we kind of want to keep this watering hole clear, but I think we actually lost them. Alright, one whole bunch of killing later, and we're doing quite a bit better. Today we have killed how many? 27 total. Oh, and more migrating in from up there, which is exactly what I don't want on my current outpost. So we're going to have to deal with them as well. Now, my fear is that we'll end up breaking this crowbar, which is a godsend right now, but we don't have another one. Just going to take a moment to rest up and have ourselves a cigarette. And I'm hoping that everything will have wandered off into the woods, or at least everything that was on that north and eastern side of the building. Because we really need to find ourselves some stuff. It's so frustrating that we're carrying around all of these just, like, canned foods that we can't access. And everything else we're finding is rotten. We did take iron gut, so we could potentially eat it and be okay, but I just really hate to lose this run to something like spoiled food. They're all just kind of hanging out on the edge of the woods there, if you look in the bottom right. Couple of stragglers who I can handle, but I also noticed that the garage door was broken down, so I'm really hoping that a whole bunch of them haven't moved inside. Anything good on you guys? I'm honestly just hoping to find like a pack of beef jerky or something on one of these zombies. I can definitely hear a lot of them. Alright, into stealth mode. Being inside is always the most dangerous time. Hear them, but I don't see them. A saw, we've already got one. Planks. A wood axe. That is definitely something that we want. Box of nails. These planks are all useful, but as long as we have one saw and one wood axe, we're actually pretty good in that department. I'm very cornered though, and I can't really look around at what's around me right now, at least not as constantly as I would like to. Yeah, even on these rare loot settings, this warehouse is always a treasure trove, but it has also been a death trap for many. Here's a zombie. As soon as we fight this thing, we're going to want to run out, because I'm worried about who it's going to attract. There's not a whole lot of places to go. Yeah, definitely got somebody else's attention. Ooh, wait, look! Oh, there's an antique oven in here! We lucked out! Alright, that means great things for us. What that means is that we can actually use that to both heat our home with logs and wood, and boil our own water. Now, it's very heavy, we'll have to come back for it, but yeah, very good loot. Very fortunate loot in this game. I mean, this run would be over already if we hadn't found those antibiotics in the farmhouse. It's making me nervous that we're leveling our sneaking by moving around here, because it means there's zombies around. Have a peek inside the window. I don't see anything immediately there. Maybe there's something we can loot from these, A rotten key lime pie slice. No water in this. Some chips. Excellent. Well, anything to keep us going just a second longer. That's the name of the game. Excuse me, I'm trying to enjoy a meal. Antidepressants, we may need those. Especially if we have to eat something gross. I don't know what the ramifications will be of eating rotten food with iron stomach. And I'm not really willing to play around with it right now. Ooh, and a shovel, which we can use for hole digging. We're starting to become encumbered, though, so we're going to want to get a move on. Maybe even... It's just we really need a can opener so badly. A pickaxe? I don't know what you do with that in vanilla. And another crowbar. But that's really going to start putting us into the over-encumbered range. These were good finds. They don't save us, but they're good finds. We could eat... we might just have to. We're desperate for food, and, well, food is food. I don't think cooking would actually help, but... maybe? Excuse me? What is that lodged in you? That looks like a whole stinking rifle just lodged in you by the bayonet. Only they went a lot deeper than the bayonet. Oh, well, there goes the crowbar. Good thing we found another one. Bad thing, it's not on us right now. Yeah, what did you have? An SKS. Okay, well, we'll be back for that. Well, that was a productive day in terms of tools, if not food at least. So let's start putting away a bunch of what we found. We do now have the ability to boil water reliably, which is actually a huge, huge deal. Oh, look at them just massing up. Ah, they're crawling all over this place. It is going to be such a hard time trying to get through all that. And I can't get at that antique stove, which means, unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to head back home for the night if I'm to eat. We are healing, but exhausted, starving. Exhausted in both senses of the words, as we're fatigued and tired. And there's still more on our tail somehow, despite us killing our way through here so many times before. It's not often I have to worry about lighting in this game, so rarely I have to actually worry about being out after dark, but times like this I just don't have much choice. The only place we can cook in the world right now is at that campfire that those guys so helpfully set up at camp. Now let's just have a look around to make sure we weren't followed. And light this fire. Making sure that we don't accidentally kill ourselves here, because the collision boxes for these things can be quite tough. There we go. Now let's see, can we cook these dead mice? It's not going to make them good, that's for sure. I honestly can't believe that, like, this is what it's come to. Can't even eat a meal in my own home, because I can't even get all this actually delicious canned food that's literally in my backpack opened. Well, this is the apocalypse for you. Alright, let's grab these out. Make sure they don't burn, and... it won't even help, really. It, like, won't even help. So here's the deal. I'm going to attempt to eat the dead rat. This may be what ends the run right here. Ew. Oh, look at that little model. Ew. And yeah, obviously we do not like that one bit. We're going to leave the mouse. I'm not going to bother eating it. I want to have as little horribleness in my system as possible. Oh, even that didn't do very much for us. But we're going to start losing weight rapidly. And so I think in the morning... well, I'm just going to go try and loot the neighborhood, the place we came from, and maybe even see if there was anything in our old house. I mean, anything's better than this, right? I say our old house, as if there's anything left of it. Oh, great, this is infected. That's amazing. Aw, man. Now, as we make our way down into the neighborhood, there is a danger that these woods will actually be swarming with the zombies that initially chased us right in the beginning. With our leg infected again, there's a good chance we die from that, honestly. I mean, I would have to get really lucky to find more antibiotics. I could try making my way down to Cortman Medical, but that's a long way, and there's no guarantee it would have what I need. But in a moment of desperation, that might be all I can do. A whole lot of resistance here. I'm kind of glad that we're running into it here and not, like, in the town itself, but also this is kind of a lot. And we don't have a lot. Fighting in the woods is always really bad because anything can jump you from any angle so suddenly. That's you dealt with. Hopefully that's all we need for now. And take a moment to rest. This house could make a nice outpost, especially if there's food. So here's the thing about trying to go into town in this game mode is, can I please just get like a second? Oh my god, there's just so much. Look at all this. This is after I cleared out that bunch of other stuff. Alright, we are gonna try and leave and just bring you back up through the trees. I would prefer you all be dead, obviously. But I don't think that's gonna happen right now. Alright, finally making our way inside. Maybe we can bring down you who's about to... It's actually all of you. Wow. Wow, how did you even find me? How? I don't understand. I broke line of sight. It's like you're just homing directly in on me. And there's some of you here as well. And now we find ourselves trying to cower in our same neighborhood from the very same enemies that we saw on our way through. Please, just some kind of food, something I can eat. Can't open any of this ourselves. Sure, why not? Just raw pasta. Let's go. Could grab those peas, probably. That's gonna get a bunch of you on me, right? No, but you. Oh, it's just impossible. Hi, old house. Or is that our old house? No, there's our old house, still on fire several days later. Well, ain't that something? No, that's our old house. Okay, wow. The fire is actually still spreading throughout the neighborhood. We're gonna have to tread lightly here. I mean, if you could die, that would be really great. We can't really fight you while you're on fire. I wonder if there's anything left of our own home. I at least take consolation in the knowledge that it killed a bunch of my pursuers. No, there is truly just about nothing left but an oven mitt. It's not even worth the souvenir. Okay, well, let's eat that tomato paste. It's all we've got going for us. Look at them all. Huge herd just burning where they stand. It does the heart good, to be honest. We're somehow already tired, even though it's only like 10:30. We got up at like 5:30. Oh, this sucks. It's literally my like last and only bet is to kill whatever's in here. But it just never ends. Our stats are terrible, like we can't even fight 2 zombies anymore. Is that everything? Can we rest now? You guys broke down the door. Listen out for anybody who may still be around. Broke down the windows. This place is no longer viable as a base, that's for sure. But we've got some tools at the very least. Anything we can eat, that's all I really care about right now. Canned peaches, which we cannot open. We're going to use this iron stomach to get at some of this rotten corn. But I'm only willing to eat 1 piece of rotten food at a time for a while. And that does seem to sort of stabilize us, and I'm afraid to remove this broken glass and make noise and lose yet another safe haven, but I feel like I have to sleep. But I also feel like I can't because, yep, this is exactly why. This is exactly why. I really do not appreciate you folks being here right now. Yeah, I decided to come back in here instead. I don't know if once a wound is infected, disinfecting with alcohol actually helps. It was just the only thing I could think of, and besides, all my stuff is here. Come on and die. Once you get even a little bit drowsy, your stats just go straight in the toilet. And we are ridiculously tired. Yeah, in a pinch, honestly, alcohol is like our best source of calories and the best way to eliminate hunger. I mean, it's not a good way of doing it, but we might not have a choice. It's better than dying out here. Okay, it's no longer infected. And I noticed we're not bleeding either. Can we remove the stitch? What happens then? Now it's just a scratch. Okay, we'll keep the ripped sheets on it, but I think our injury is mostly healed, which is good news for us. The red wine actually does a number on our hunger. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be a moderately functioning alcoholic for a little while. Oh, I thought that was either rain or the sound of something burning. I don't know how it handles stuff like that, but now there is always going to be the ever-present paranoia of that initial fire actually spreading through the woods and reaching here. Unlikely, but I suppose it could happen. Oh, look, there is so much down there, it's ridiculous. I really do think that as long as we can keep surviving, although definitely losing weight on alcohol, it's in our best interest to just keep killing zombies in this area. Just keep whittling them down. If this were Horus Barnes, I'd be running around like killing them with shotguns or slapping them down with machetes, but we just don't have those skills or those tools. I mean, there's the SKS and the zombie over there, but we definitely don't have the skills to be doing that right now. If anything, it would just make this whole place non-viable when it draws more in. This might be a little while. So much combat, so much more than you'd expect for a series like this. 326 kills, but we've survived for 6 days, 9 hours. And whatever happens, I'm immensely proud of this run. And it's actually kind of funny that, like, alcohol is kind of the MVP. I mean, it's keeping me fed, it's disinfecting wounds. Somebody's breaking out of the factory or the warehouse. Alright, let's just take this with us. Just lugging this giant, heavy antique oven. But it's the only easiest way in the field to burn wood indoors. And we are certainly going to want to do that. We have been cold for far too long. Now, the question is, where do we put this thing? I'm thinking we close the curtains and stick it right over there in the corner. So how do we place that right here? And please don't make too much noise while you're doing this. And home sweet home. Now we'll want to close the curtains so that the glow from the fire doesn't render this place too bright and attract zombies. And we are completely healed. Everything that was afflicting us at the start of the game is now dealt with. And we are in all ways stronger. From here on out, this is essentially a regular playthrough. But we slept through the day, so we don't really have the ability to sleep just yet. We could add all of our ripped sheets into here, not like we can't get more. Now let's light ourselves a fire. And there. It ain't much, but it's ours. One more hour. If this next group of zombies doesn't kill us, we will have actually survived a week in this challenge. Well, I'll tell you what, trial by fire, it's certainly making me learn new strategies that I'd never had to consider before. But I guess that's a good thing. I mean, it's pushing me to become a better player. Something that I've realized about games is that, I tend to play things the same way a lot of the time. And sure, you get better in that, but you have to grow. You have to do things, even play scenarios that are impossible sometimes, just in order to force yourself to change your thinking. Yep. Now it's time to move beyond this warehouse and look to the self-storage place just to its south. There's a neighborhood here as well, so maybe we can do some looting there. I'm really hoping that we've killed a lot of what's here, but I know better. I know this distribution is probably going to be like this all over, isn't it? I mean, we're immediately welcome to the neighborhood. Hey, there's our maintenance skill. And you have quite a nice looking shotgun on your shoulders, buddy. We're definitely going to take that. Shotguns are very, very good, provided you have enough ammo, which right now we certainly don't. What is that? Wow, a Spas 12. Alright, well, we'll grab it. It's got 6 shells in it. But it's not enough for us to do anything useful. If anything, it would just make our situation worse right now. Now, in the last series, Escape from Raven Creek, I was using Britta's weapon mod. Now I'm using, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's basically an extension to vanilla weapons. So it's not nearly as extensive, not nearly as many spawns as Britta's. 7 days, 1 hour. Oh, of course, the moment I step into the neighborhood proper, yep, literally dozens. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do in this situation? Thing is, I can't let them pile up here, because this is like where I live now, basically. Alright, all of you this way. I mean, maybe I can just throw them for enough of a loop? Or maybe even hop this fence. Maybe that'll work. Alright, let's go and hope your panic doesn't screw you over. I mean, maybe what's in here can be more manageable. Then again, maybe not. Maybe I'm just cornering myself. Alright, that seems to have been a lot of what was active. And we gain access to our first unit. Overalls? Yeah. I mean, obviously, right? Same thing as... Oh, look at all that's in here. Look at all that's in here, and that's not even counting what I just pulled out of the neighborhood, what's right on the other side of that fence, waiting for me to jump back over. Okay, well, if we can... say forget about that, and just think about looking in here. Please do not alarm. Thank you. Their crowbar. Just so you guys know, literally all I care about right now, like the most important thing in the world to me right now, would be nothing more than a can opener. And at this rate, you would think one would have dropped even on like a regular zombie at this point, but it just hasn't happened. I'm a look before I leap kind of guy. I'm not going to leap over the fence into the backyard. It would avoid these guys, but doesn't necessarily mean there's not still more back there. Yep, that's right. I actually don't want you guys over here anyway, so come on. Yep, see? There was another one right in here. Good thing we didn't leap over that fence. I'm just kind of on a suicidal run around right now. That's a survivor house right there. Could potentially have some good loot in it. But look, this is what the neighborhoods look like. This is what the populated areas look like. Absolutely unreal. I mean, the math simply doesn't check out. Like, the zombie to house ratio. Now, there is something else that we could try. Some people don't like this because they find it kind of cheesy, but given the insane numbers, I'm starting to think it's less cheesy. And also, it's sort of hard to use. I've only done it like once before. I could make a Molotov cocktail. And I guess we're doing it because that's what I've done. Oh, or maybe we need to stop moving. Makes sense, but we may not have time for that. Alright, do it quickly. I can... I don't even know how to use it. Okay, this is really unintuitive. I just looked it up. You have to have the lighter in your secondary slot. And now we can throw the Molotov, I think. Only problem is, now I've looped around and made it a little bit more difficult for myself, because now they're not all uniform. Alright, well, let's stir the herd as much as we possibly can. Look at us yelling like that. I had no idea you could spam it that fast. Oh... Yeah, you panic. I definitely see why. We're beyond being able to fight, so we need to do this. Alright. Toss! And it... There we go! Well, it caught some of you. Do I have to, like, lead you into each other now? without leading myself into you or into the flames. I don't think this was a success at all, honestly. Yep, yeah, a whole lot of you are starting to catch now. That's the beauty of dragging you around each other, but a whole bunch of you have not left the neighborhood, which means we can't really maneuver through there. Running past the trees is going to be dangerous. Is it even going to be safe to sleep here tonight? A whole bunch of you still. I'm just hoping that I've broken line of sight enough that they won't try following me back to the bar. You guys can burn down anything but this. That's my rule right now. Oh, but our stats are so terrible, we can't even handle what's here. So many of you just showed up, and I have no idea why. Like, how far did those yells carry from? I think we might have to go back to the farmhouse again. But even then, we'll be pulling a lot of you. Oh, you're even back here now? I can't catch a break anywhere I go. You know what the really stupid thing is? Is that even after all this, like, all I want is a can opener. If I had one of those, I wouldn't have to take these risks, but because I don't... You folks are not welcome, I'm sorry. I know you kind of had free reign for the night, but that is not... Somebody screwed up at the help desk. I'm gonna have to evict you all. How did you end up on the other side of those doors? Unless you actually broke, like, clear through the other side of the building, which is definitely a possibility. You know, some people spend their entire lives waiting to win the lottery. Some people spend their whole lives waiting for Prince Charming. I'm waiting for the day one of you brings me a can opener. Oh, there's so many of you just crawling all over this building. Well, look, we're invested in this place now. We put an antique oven inside, and I ain't carrying it back out. Also, while we're here, we should probably check on that fire, huh? Still burning, some of you. We need to stick around in order for it to take full effect, but it hasn't killed nearly as much as I'd like. Or maybe it did, I don't know. There's actually no way to tell. I think zombies on fire have like a 100% mortality rate or something, but I've honestly never seen it. And we're not going to get to see it because they just turn into ash piles when they burn up. Nope, go, 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 go! Okay, and luckily we didn't get scraped up either. Oh, that was... See, it can go bad in a second. Just one wrong move. Wow, this door has held up a long time. How great would it be if you were the one that had a can opener? How great would it be if you fell over at some point? No such luck. We can probably tolerate this cheese, right? Yep, there we are getting queasy from eating rotten food. I really hope we don't die to this, because there's a real possibility that we do. We've made it over a week, so I'm taking more risks now, especially since it's becoming clear how much time investment this save is going to be, what with all these spawns. If this is to be our final night, we may as well try lighting a fire, right? Maybe at least have some comfort to go out in. That definitely does affect things. Yeah, that is much brighter than before and much more cozy. Look, it immediately shoots up to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. This is by far the warmest we've been in this entire game. I'm definitely okay with taking things easy for a little while longer. Let's actually try chopping down a tree for the first time. Grab a couple of logs for the fire. Oh, we can't fit them in our backpacks, so we'll have to carry them up ourselves. Just hope that didn't make too much noise. In the dark, there could be all kinds of things around me and I wouldn't know it. I think I did a pretty good job clearing this place out, but you just never know with this population. And let's find out how much time these logs actually give us. So if we want to add fuel logs, each one gives us 6 hours. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I told you that this thing was a godsend for so many reasons. So many planks that we can saw. We can keep a fire going for a long time. We can boil water. We can cook food. If we could get some food that isn't rotten. See those little ashen spaces on the ground? I'm pretty sure each of these represents a corpse of his burned zombie. Now, it's kind of hard to tell how many died, but it should have been a lot. What's our kill count right now? 436? Our actual kill count should be over 500 by that point. Which is kind of funny, because we've killed them all in roughly the same area. We have not been very far from spawn at all, and yet there's still just these utter masses all over the place. Oh, what is going on with this lighting? It's 7 a.m., guy. Why is it getting so dark all of a sudden? Oh man, maybe it's trying to tell me that in this cataclysm there are dark days ahead. Nope, I was gonna go in there, but we're not doing that now. Shouldn't be doing this right now either. I keep forgetting that the neighborhood is very much an in-there situation. There's nothing we can do in this direction. And there's not really a lot of other places we can go either. The only thing I'm thinking I could maybe try, and it's going to be a long walk for a lot of zombies still, is McCoy. Christ, maybe I would have been better off just staying here, but there's just no food. I am kind of becoming a one-man army here. Horace Barnes would be proud. Unfortunately, by this point in the game, Horace Barnes had quite an entire cabinet full of can openers. Have I mentioned in this part that I would like a can opener and that I feel there are too many zombies? An annotated map. Trouble. Gun and spiffos. But that's all quite a long way down from us. We'll hold on to the map anyway. Doesn't hurt to have it. As we become increasingly desperate, I'm starting to think that it is in my best interests to make a run for McCoy in the morning. I'm just all out of anything I can eat. I can maybe eat a little bit more of the rotten stuff that's around. Let's sleep on the couch in order to give ourselves a little bit more time in the warmth. I feel like we deserve that much at least, although the temperatures are falling throughout the night. Remember, we don't want to go to bed too early because, well, we don't want to wake up too early. We need all the daylight we can get. Today's going to be one of the longest days we've yet had, but I don't think it'll be quite as long as the time we tried following the highway in the previous part. And another thing we can start doing is actually using our hunting knives to create spears. We can use these to preserve condition on our other weapons. And hey, you came to help us test it out. Awesome. These won't actually be too useful early on, but they can actually become quite a deadly weapon, especially in cases like this where we push them over. I love these things. Incidentally, Morgan Jones is among my favorite characters in The Walking Dead. Now this is a little on the dangerous side of things, especially if there's an unseen cluster like that. But basically our goal here is going to be to move through those trees, encounter the road, and take that to the McCoy Logging Company. And hopefully we'll be able to make something of that. I don't think fighting zombies directly, like we're not going to kite them with this spear. It's not going to have a lot of condition, but maybe we can use it to just eliminate one-offs like that. Now, of course, it's always very dangerous maneuvering in the low-visibility forests like this. We don't have to go too far, I think. Yeah, but every time that wind blows, every time I hear that rustling, you never know if it's just the wind or if there's an entire herd right in front of you. Go, 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 go. The good news is that breaking line of sight is fairly easy. We have no idea how many are in here. We need to get someplace with more visibility very quickly, and that is why the woods are dangerous. Everything we've been seeing near our base has also been pouring through here. Oh my god. If that had been how it ended. Might still be how it ends, honestly. Wait, there's the sign right there that says McCoy Logging Company, so I don't think we're actually going down this street. I think we have to make it to the left. We actually overshot it a little bit. Alright, now luckily I'm not seeing any more down this road, or only a couple. Let's look back at what we've attracted. More than I thought. More than I thought and more than I wanted. Okay, we may have to do some dipping maneuvers in which we go into the woods, try to lead them in there. Hopefully they scatter. There's just so many in every direction. Alright, all of you with me. Remember, there could be even more in here. Alright, back to the crowbar, trying to kill what's here. At the very least, we've reduced it to a trickle, which is all we can really hope for. I mean, killing all this off is actually good, just we can't handle it all at once. And die. Anybody else following? No, that was it, and we have reached our goal, and that was indeed not it, so it's a good thing we turned around when we did. Day, sir. The improvements to our long blunt skill are really paying off in terms of these kiting operations, but it's still not the best thing. I mean, machetes and katanas still hands down the best weapons in the game by far. The Raven Creek playthrough would not have been nearly as doable without them. But we really need to have a cigarette now. I'm just impressed we managed to lose our tail. And making these early inroads, well, that's encouraging. There's still... there's a fair few here. But as long as there's some kind of reward inside, it should be worth it. I mean, this is definitely a lot better than in town. Same strat as before, pull a few at a time. And there goes our spear already. Only killed a handful of zombies, but it was nice. And here comes the rest. It's just... they're split up enough, but it is a lot, just numerically. And it's just... see, normally expeditions like this would be no problem for me, but because there's so many, and because we have so little to work with... Nope. Nope, go, go, go. Okay, this looks relatively clear. Please, can one of these just have a can opener? Now I'm just kind of sneaking along the outer periphery, hoping that I can make my way through to the main building where there's, like, staff rooms and stuff. And my sneaking is getting better at the very least, but I'm not going to be able to avoid all this. I think I'm going to have to lead them off. Okay, well, that being the case, everybody come follow me. We've got to build ourselves another herd. Come on. There's just no other way to do this. Everybody possible, just follow me down and out. This is so much easier in a car. Yep, everybody this way. I need you all in the woods to the south, but not out the main gate, please. All this way. Yep. This is going to be somebody else's problem, but not mine while I deal with this. I've also got to... oh, but I hadn't considered. There's also zombies in the woods themselves. Well, this could be the end of me. The trick is to get into the woods, break line of sight, and then change direction. But of course, there's a ton of them down here as well. I mean, that's sort of a little bit more acceptable, unless there's this many, of course. Oh my god, we're literally in the woods. What is with these spawns? I'm just going in. I'm just going in. I just need to run in and grab. Because it's not like there's really anything else I can do at this point. I need food. I'm just hoping that I'll be able to kite them around enough that I'll be able to run out when the need arises. Even if it's rotten, even if it's just chips. Pop, orange soda, I'll take it all. It's all calories, nothing in the other one. More pop. Once again, we have nothing to actually eat, so we're drinking our calories. Well, that's what we came all this way for. Kill you. Oh wait, you actually have leather gloves. That's something I could use for once. One of you guys dropped something useful in like 600 zombies. Ooh, a sledgehammer. Yeah, attach on back. Take it. We may need it. We'll definitely need it. They're just so rare that I can't leave them, even if it is heavy. Oh, they've broken in, which means we're running out. That's it. We're done here. We do not have the necessary... We are so over-encumbered. We are so bad off right now. Are they banging on that door? I can't tell. They're definitely pouring in now. Maybe we can run through that door if we're lucky. Yep. We got very lucky. Some of these cars, like, may actually be in good enough shape to run if we can find keys. The issue is finding one with keys in a reasonable time frame. And even then, returning to base with a car might be dangerous. You got anything? Oh, you actually do. Come on. But, of course, there's no fuel. Okay, we can potentially come back to that later. Potentially. But I kind of doubt it. Going through buildings is somewhat helpful at breaking line of sight, obviously, but the issue is that they will eventually break in. And then you've got to move. Any more food? Anything. Cockroach, I'll take it. No. A rotten pear, sure. Maybe I'll eat that later when I don't have to worry so much about sickness killing me. But that's it. They're already in. Go. Well, we've made a real mess of this place, but at least we got maybe some useful things. Gross. Well, the uncooked cockroach at least doesn't have a chance of giving us food poisoning. If only we could get some more. It would actually be a delicacy at this point. Now the issue is that I want to come back, but I know that these woods are infested, and I'm about to make them even more infested. Which would certainly complicate any potential return trips in the future. Yep! The line of sight in woods is so stupid. Of course, there's a whole bunch of them pooling right outside our base again. Not to mention what followed us out. I think we are going to have to make time for one last bit of clearing, which I suppose is just as well, considering it is right in front of our base. In a normal game, the sledgehammer is famous for being one of the rarest and most useful items in the game. To me, it's pretty much totally useless right now. Literally, I would have been more excited for a can opener. But I think I'm gonna have to end it here. It wasn't entirely fruitless. I mean, it might give us a couple more days. I mean, look, we've got our rotten pear to eat. Yum, down the hatch. And not to mention, we can light a fire and cook ourselves a good old-fashioned home-cooked cockroach. Won't that be fun? Things are really not looking up for Jesus Griffiths. Even though we've done crazy things with this character and survived far longer. You know, like I said, I never intended for this to be a series, so surviving this long has actually been a curse as much as a blessing. Yum. Oh, by cooking it, we even got a little bit of extra hunger out of it. Oh, I hate this life so much. I'm going to be asking you guys for tips on this because I have no idea how to proceed. I've been granted the means to kill on an unprecedented level. But I'm an unstoppable force up against an immovable object. They're just everywhere. Like, these are all things that I could scavenge, but I can't scavenge because I can't go anywhere. So please let me know what you think I should do. But until then, if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this game out for yourself, that link will also be in the description. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.